Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Missouri Historical Society's virtual Homeschool Day craft room. For November 2020, our theme is celebrating National American Indian Heritage Month. My name is Carla, and today I'll be showing you ideas on how to make a shoebox diorama. But before we get started, I want to respectfully acknowledge that we are standing on the traditional ancestral lands of the Illini Confederation, the Missouri, and the Osage Nation. Knowing and acknowledging the history and the land that we stand on is a way of honoring and expressing gratitude for the ancestral people who were on this land before us. So what is a diorama? Well, a diorama is just a model representing a scene with 3D figures. It can be miniature, like what I'm going to show you today, or as large as a museum exhibit. The great thing about dioramas is they allow you to be as creative as you want. Mine is just a sample. There are so many ways to do it. This is a great craft for recycling items around your home, and every kid should make a diorama at least once. Now, my sample focuses on a scene depicting the Missouri tribe and one of their primary modes of transportation, the canoe. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a mini canoe out of a paper towel tube. Did you know that Missouri got its name from the Missouri tribe? The Missouri were originally part of the Sioux tribe in the Great Lakes region. They migrated south and settled in what is now Missouri. The name Missouri is believed to have come from an Illinois word that sounded similar to Missouri and meant town of the large canoes, or one who has dugout canoes. That's what the Missouri used, so that's what they became known as. Now, interesting fact is they were also the first native tribe that Lewis and Clark spoke to on their expedition in 1804. So let's make a canoe. You're going to need a paper towel tube or a toilet paper tube and some craft glue and scissors, and some paper clips would also come in handy. So you can take a paper towel tube and then you can just make a bigger canoe by slitting it across like this. And then you can cut out your canoe. I'm going to make a smaller one, so actually before slitting it in half, I just cut it in half like that. Okay. So you can make it as long or as short as you want. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter since my diorama isn't so big. The first thing you're going to do, so you have a piece that looks like this, you're going to fold it in half. And then you're just going to kind of eyeball it. You can draw it out, but I'm going to just kind of cut a little lip like that. And there you have the shape of a canoe. You also want to round your edges a little bit. So you cut the edges like that. And then like that. And there you have the shape of your canoe. So the next thing you want to do, and I'm going to take a scrap that I used here, you're going to glue your ends together. You're going to use this, and I use craft glue. It's a little bit thicker and it will hold the cardboard better. Glue stick wouldn't work very well. So you're just going to put some glue on the edges here. Make sure you cover the whole edge. And then hold it together. And this is where the paper clip comes in, because you can hold it like that, and that will hold it together while it dries. So I'm going to do this end. Oops. My glue is really thick. You can also use a paintbrush to paint your glue on too. All right, and then my other paper clip. And then you want to just kind of squish it open like that. Now, while that dries, I'm going to make a little seat. Now, as you can see in here, I made a little seat using some scraps that I had. So you can make it as wide or as thin as you like. And then you just want to make sure you have a little bit to fold in, because that's what you're going to put your glue on to set it into your canoe, and that will keep it open. Whoops, popping out there. All right, and there you go. Whoop. Well, this one will need some time to dry, but I will show you the one I have here, where I have the seat inside. So, what do you think it was like to be traveling by canoe? The Missouri used canoes for travel, trade, fishing, and to visit. It could take a very long time. So what do you think it would be like to travel by canoe today? It'd take a long time if you were going to visit somebody. How do people use canoes today? Think about, have you ever been on a float trip or maybe fishing? We even have canoes in Forest Park that you can ride in the lake. So I made a canoe to start. But what else do we need to make a diorama? Well, first you're starting with a shoebox. It can be a shoebox lid, or it can be a shoebox lid and box, or it can just be the box. We know that the Missouri settled along the Missouri River. So I made a river, if you can see this, using a file folder that I had, just a blue file folder, and some yarn. And I made some fish out of tissue paper. But you can make it out of anything you want. It can be fun to look around the house and find things that you can use to depict your scene. Now we know there were a lot of trees back then, so I made a tree out of some construction paper and some tissue paper and used some trees from magazines that I cut out. But before you start adding your elements, you might want to do like a ground to make dirt. I just used some brown construction paper, or you can cover the sides if you have like writing on your shoebox. I also just glued some blue to the background to make a background and made some hills in the background, because we know parts of Missouri can be pretty hilly. You can also draw, or you can paint it. The Missouri also hunted bison, deer, and other animals for food, clothing, tools, and trade. So I added some craft foam bison in the back. You can make animals out of anything that you want. I made people, my person here that just fell out of the canoe. I just made it out of pipe cleaners that I happen to have around the house. But you can use pegs like this to make peg dolls. Just about anything you want. You can draw out of paper, cardboard, and cut it out. I'm going to sit him back in there real quick. Hold on. Don't fall out. All right. So they were also farmers, and they grew corn, beans, and squash. So I made some pipe cleaner corn. I used Model Magic for rocks and tissue paper for a fire in my little fire pit here. I used an egg carton cup for a house. You can see back in the corner. Of course, I'd probably make it a little bit bigger. My daughter says it is way too small for the people I made. But you can use whatever you want. You can also add other things like the tools that they used, or jewelry out of beads or shells. It's just endless possibilities for what you can add. Now, the Missouri later emerged with the Oto tribe after their numbers dwindled due to tribal conflicts and the smallpox epidemics. And sadly, by the mid-1800s, they were forced to live on a reservation in Oklahoma. Now, I use the Missouri tribe as my inspiration, but you can research other tribes that lived in the area, such as the Osage, Fox, Sauk. You can also learn more about the Mississippians in our Mighty Mississippi exhibit. And you can also do a diorama of your own experiences with a canoe. Be creative. To learn more about this month's theme, you can view other videos by going to our website, mohistory.org, or our YouTube site. And please, send us a picture of your creations. We would love to see them. And you never know, we might post them on our new craft room bulletin board, which is behind me. You can tag us at hashtag MHSLearn. Thank you for visiting, and have fun creating your diorama. Thank you.